Some stories aren't found in the headlines or shouted from pulpits. They whisper from the quiet corners of everyday life, from forgotten spaces and overlooked souls. They lie dormant, like seeds, waiting for the right moment to break through and show us a different kind of truth. This is one of those stories. It's about a school, much like any other, filled with the usual buzz of achievements and anxieties. And it's about a student, one who seemed to drift through its halls like a ghost, barely a footnote in the school's big book of academic ambition. He was the student who never passed a single test, the one many had quietly, or maybe not so quietly, written off as a lost cause. But what if failure, the kind we mark on a page, isn't the whole story? What if the truest way to measure a person's impact isn't by their grade point average, but by the unseen, unheard moments that shape the lives around them? In an old, forgotten locker, a secret lay gathering dust for years. When it was finally discovered, it didn't just clear out cobwebs, it challenged everything this school thought it knew about intelligence, success, and the quiet ways a single life can leave an unforgettable legacy. His name was Leo. In the busy world of Northwood High, Leo was a bit of an anomaly. While other kids chased good grades and awards, his report cards told a different story, a sea of red ink, a constant refrain of could do better, not meeting expectations, fails to apply himself. Test papers, often a little crumpled, would land on his desk with that familiar, heavy thud of disappointment. His teachers, mostly, weren't unkind, but you could almost hear a collective sigh of resignation whenever his progress came up. Some tried different ways to help him, extra tutoring, simpler explanations. Others, swamped with big classes and packed schedules, gradually let him drift to the edge of their focus. He wasn't a troublemaker. He didn't act out. He simply failed. He'd stare at complicated math problems as if they were ancient hieroglyphs, his brow furrowed in genuine effort, but it never seemed to click. During exams, his pen would hover, make a few hesitant marks, and then just stop. His classmates, caught up in their own school stress, mostly saw him as a quiet, kind of awkward kid in the back of the room, easy to overlook. The label not book smart stuck to him like a shadow, and for many, that was pretty much all there was to his story. They figured he'd just drift through school and then drift through life, another case of unfulfilled potential. Years went by. New students filled the old halls, teachers retired, and Northwood High kept to its rhythm of bells, books, and kids growing up. Leo, having eventually left school with his usual collection of failing grades, pretty much faded from memory, like an old photo left out in the sun. Life at Northwood moved on, its focus on the present and the bright futures of its current students. And then there was the locker. Number 237. Tucked away in a quieter hallway of the older wing, it had been stubbornly shut for as long as anyone could remember. Its gray, dented door stood out only because of a thick layer of dust and a lock that seemed rusted shut by time. Mr. Henderson, a fairly new history teacher who had a knack for decluttering, was the one who finally got locker 237 open. Armed with a master key and a bit more persistence than those before him, he jiggled the lock, gave it a good tug, and with a reluctant groan of metal, the door creaked open. Inside, there was no treasure map, no scandalous secret, just the simple belongings of a life lived quietly on the sidelines. But as Mr. Henderson started to look through them, a picture began to form, not of a failing student, but of a truly remarkable person.